Some of you may remember this picture from a previous video where I did a pastel pencil background, and it's been kind of in the back of my head that I would like to go back to this picture and finish it. I'm a bit of a completionist. I don't like to have too many works in progress floating about at the same time, so I decided that we'd come back to this today and, you know, just sort of pick out some colours and see how we go. So in my head I have the sort of more traditional colours, because if you again recall, if you saw one of the other videos, that the frog that I did in the other piece where I did the same background was, I steered away from the greens, so I kind of wanted to go back to that today. So I am using Polychromos pencils today, and I've just picked out 3 shades of green, and I'm going to do the sort of base colour of the frog, and I'll think about the more intricate parts later on. I just wanted to kind of keep it simple today because I just really want to chill out in colour and not really have to give it too much thought, to be perfectly honest. So I'm going to start at his feet or his hands, or I don't know what you want to call them, but it doesn't really matter. But I'll just go from there. So things that are happening in the wonderful world of Gem at the Colour Cave. The main thing that's going on just now and seems to have taken over my entire life is Pip the puppy. She is 12 weeks today, so she is a quarter of a year old, and she is getting bigger but not getting any more sensible yet, so that's an issue. She's kind of like a toddler. She knows that she's doing things that are wrong and she knows she's going to get into trouble for them, but she can't seem to stop herself. So we're spending a lot of time trying to tell her right from wrong. And, you know, get a sort of discipline in there. I'm surprised that she doesn't think that her name is No, because that's all I seem to say to her. I'm like, no. And she's going through this phase of crying when no one's paying any attention to her. You'll probably hear her in the background at some point, and it is just purely attention seeking. She has been fed, watered, she has been taken outside, and she has been played with, and she still wants attention all the time. So we're kind of dealing with that just now. She wasn't coping well on the feed schedule that we gave her, so we've had to give her lots of smaller meals instead. And that's basically very tiring. I'm feeding her every 4 hours, so I have to be around, which is irritating. And sometimes you just kind of want to get out a little bit. So that's kind of hard going. Thankfully, we are at a stage with the farm that we're in a reasonably quiet period, so Mr. Gem has been able to help out and actually take his days off, which he doesn't do very often, and it's really just so that I can keep my sanity. So we're doing a fair bit of that just now, so that is taking up an awful lot of my time. Apart from that, when this video goes out, which I do believe should be Friday the 9th, I will be running my 5k race with my beginner runners, and this is what we've been building up to for the last sort of 12 weeks or so, 13, in fact more than that, maybe even 16 weeks. So I'm really looking forward to that. That is going to be really good fun. It's a really good event. It's lots and lots of fun. It's very relaxed. It's not a serious, you know, big serious race, which is really good for the girls that are running. And yeah, I'm excited for them. It's a race that and saying that, I say that it's not really for me. I still run for myself. I don't run with the beginners. That's Pip with her squeaky. What have you got, puppy? I do go and run myself, but I wouldn't. This is her crying because she wants me to play with her. Pip, that's enough. The girls that are running will be running on their own, and I take them to that race because it's a really good setup. It's really well organised, and because that nice relaxed atmosphere, it's not too intimidating if you've never run a race before. Yeah, and it's a really unique race as well, and it's it's just, I just think it's a lovely race for beginners. So the girls are quite excited. I have 2 running. I did originally have 3 girls, but one girl actually never started the training. She had quite a few things going on in her personal life, so she decided against it. She is still coming and she's going to walk round, and again, that's something that you can do, and one of the reasons that I picked that for their first race, because there are people that take their kids in prams or they run round with their kids, which I think is just awesome. So even if you are not fit enough to run the entire thing, you're not going to be on your own and you're not going to get left behind. So we're gearing up for that, and one of the themes is, because it's at night, they do a series of races all around the UK, and they're always at night, and the kind of theme to them is it's all about light and colour. So there's lots of people in fluorescent outfits, and you know, like LED headbands and glow sticks and all that kind of stuff. So that's, you know, a really fun element to it. So we've been getting geared up for that. And I have bought myself a pair of flashing LED gloves, and they're awesome. I haven't told the other girls I've bought them. I've bought my supply of glow sticks and bangles and, you know, all that kind of thing. And I've bought like a party pack so that we can share them out between us. But the girls don't know I've bought the gloves, so that's going to be like my special secret weapon that I'm going to pull out just before the race. So that's going to be really good fun. I'm looking forward to it. I haven't actually done a whole lot of training for myself. Just between honeymoon and puppy, I've been really tied and not really able to get out much. I have gone out when I've been able to, but it's just not, it's not been as much as I've liked. So I have no expectation for myself in terms of a time. I'm kind of just hoping that I can get round in roughly the same time that I did last year, which wasn't spectacular, but it was reasonable. It was under half an hour, so you know, that's okay for me. It's not great, but it's okay. So that's that. So you can all get excited for me and all the rest of it. I'm going to try and video a little bit of it, because it is quite a spectacle when you see 3,000 people running round in the dark, and they've all got these head torches on that they give you at the start line. And when you're running, you turn round and there's like, you know, a couple of thousand of these little lights bobbing away behind you. It's really bizarre, but it's really cool at the same time. I really like it. But being as we kind of go in the theme of colour here, I just think it would be nice, because everyone is dressed up in really bright colours and fluorescent stuff. And I think that's something that you guys would appreciate. So I'll try, at the very least I'll get some pictures and I'll show you in the next video. But yeah, I've been working up to that for a while now, so I'm quite looking forward to that. But other than that, really, there's not been an awful lot happening, to be perfectly truthful. It's not very exciting. I'm really supposed to have, you know, interesting things to talk about when you do a colouring chat, and I really have nothing interesting to say at all. I'll say my life's kind of just revolved around the puppy recently, so that's not the best situation really, but still, that's just life, and it's only for a little while until she gets a bit bigger. But right now she's still a baby, so you've got to make allowances for her. So today is Saturday and I'm going out tonight. And again, for those of you that are subscribed and watch quite a lot of my videos, you'll know that I actually don't go out very often. We don't really get the chance to go out and socialise just because of the number of hours that Mr. Jem works. So we have a new employee, a young gentleman has started working for us, and he is absolutely superb, but he's on his own and he has come up from England, so he doesn't really know anybody in the immediate area. He does have a friend that works at one of the other farms, and that's how he came to work here. He was looking for a job. So we are taking him into our local town tonight just for a couple of beers so that he can start finding his way around and stuff. So that is something nice to be doing. I'm quite liking the way this is turning out already. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Oh, I meant to say, just in case anybody's interested, the pencils that I'm using for this are Earth Green, which is 172, Juniper Green, which is 165, and Chrome Oxide Green, which is 278. Just in case anybody's interested. Guaranteed somebody will ask me if I don't mention it, so we'll just get that out of the way just now. So yeah, I can't even remember the last time I was out on a Saturday night. I was out a few weeks ago. No, it was more than a few weeks ago. Where it was before we went on our honeymoon for Mr. Jem's birthday, and we were in the town, but that was a Friday night. So yeah, I can't remember the last time I was out on a Saturday night. Goodness me, I've forgotten how to do it, I think. Well, okay, maybe not. Maybe I'm lying a little bit there, but never mind. So I was thinking about colouring videos. Now, I know that my channel's quite mixed. I know I skip about doing a bit of drawing, a bit of colouring, some product reviews, but I really feel that the colouring, the adult colouring side of things, I've not neglected it. Obviously I was busy with Inktober, which did take up a massive chunk of my time. I hardly did anything outside of that last month. So I just thought the colouring chat would be a nice change, because we did spend an epic amount of time on the picture from Anamorphia. So I'm kind of looking for some suggestions from my colourist subscribers, and I'd like to know what you would like to do next, or if there's anything in particular you would like to see. I have got the two newest books from Johanna Basford and Hanna Karlzon. So if you would maybe like to see me colour something in that, or if you would like another colour along, I'm quite happy to do another colour along. And if anybody has any suggestions, please feel free to leave them in the comments box below. That would be awesome, because I want to give you guys what you want. I enjoy colouring anyway, and I have really missed it over the last month. Like I was actually having like withdrawal symptoms. So I'm so happy to be sitting here colouring, and it's really nice. It's really therapeutic, and especially, I say, things have been a bit stressful just this last little while. So, you know, anything that is suggested, I will happily take on board. You know, I'll always take suggestions anyway, but if there's something in particular that you want me to colour, or if there's anything you want me to do, or you like more colouring chats, then you can just let me know, and we'll certainly go about and do something about it. That would be really cool. But for the time being, I think maybe I'll do another colouring chat video after this one. Just to kind of break it up a bit. As I say, that we did spend a ridiculous amount of time doing the picture in Anamorphia. It was a beast of a picture, to be fair. And I just don't want people getting fed up or thinking, oh god, Jem's put out another colour along, I don't want to watch that. Because at the end of the day, the channel's only successful if my subscribers watch the content and if you like the content. So it is something that is important to me. It's all about, you know, getting feedback and finding that nice balance of what you enjoy doing, but also what your viewers want as well. And that's kind of important to me. I mean, I'm really pleased with how things are going anyway. You've all been so lovely and so awesome. And even now, I think I've got about 570 subscribers just now. And that to me is just absolutely insane. I had no sort of expectation for that when I started doing this. I just started doing it for a bit of fun, to be honest. Well, it's still fun, it's always fun, but I'm just absolutely overwhelmed by the number of people that actually want to sit and watch what I'm doing, which is really, it's such a cool feeling. It really is. So, you know, it's like, yeah, let's keep doing this and see if we can take this somewhere. I'm never expecting to have like a gajillion subscribers. It is a very sort of niche category, and there's already some awesome art and colouring YouTubers out there, and it is kind of difficult to not reinvent the wheel, so to speak. But for me personally, watching YouTube, there's several people that I subscribe to, and they kind of all do a similar thing, but I want more of it because I like it and I like watching it. I like to have YouTube on in the background when I'm drawing and when I'm colouring too. So, you know, I'm gonna want what I like, and I'm gonna want as much of it as possible. So I think I kind of have to remember that when I'm filming videos myself. If people like what you're doing, then they're going to keep watching. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm hoping to achieve anyway. I'm just trying to put a little bit of shadow in here with my darkest green. I might actually go back in with like Payne's Grey just to darken that down even more, make it a bit more obvious, I think. But I'm just trying to work away here and just get these blended in, these three colours. It's one of those ones where until you've got a really good base colour, you don't really want to start messing about with your shadows too much, because you're not entirely sure where things are, you know, where each colour is going to go and where one's going to start and one's going to stop. So, because yeah, when I've started over here, the light source seems to be kind of coming this way, but realistically that would be in the shadow of this part of the frog, so really that should have been dark, but never mind. It looks okay. Gives him a bit of depth, I suppose, doesn't it? And I don't want this two-tone between the bottom half of his face and the top half, so I'm trying to be careful about blending stuff out here. But he's looking okay so far. And other YouTube-y type stuff, now this is this is going to come out not the way I mean it to come out, but I'm just going to say it anyway. The other day I had my first legitimate negative comment left under a video, and it's not like, oh my god, this is so terrible, someone said something horrible. I am genuinely surprised it has taken this long for that to happen. Most of you are aware that the internet, especially when you do something like this and you're putting yourself out there, the internet can be a brutal, brutal place. And I was fully expecting lots of like really nasty comments from trolls saying, oh, you can't draw, blah blah blah, you're you know, you're so irritating, no, and all that kind of stuff. I was expecting a lot more of that long before now. I mean, my channel's been up well over 6 months. Is it? March, April, May, June, July, August, September, yeah. And everyone has been so lovely and just really, really nice and really supportive. And do you know, that way I was kind of getting a bit suspicious actually. I'm like, why is everyone being so nice? And the other day I went on to look at the comments and kind of catch up with what was being said. And this person, whoever they are, basically just said, yeah, you're really annoying. And it made me laugh. It actually made me laugh. I'm quite a thick-skinned person. It takes a lot to offend me and upset me. And I just thought, well, at least, you know, at least I know there's not anything suspicious going on. Somebody does find me annoying, and that's actually quite satisfying, because it's one of those things where I can't help it. I can't apologise for the person that I am. The way that I am in my videos is just who I am. And, you know, there's lots of YouTubers out there who are very good at what they do and they're very talented, but some people just can't watch them, and there are people like that for me, and I have tried to watch their videos and I just can't. And it is nothing personal and it's not meant in a horrible way, but I just can't deal with them. And that, you know, what sort of grinds your gears, that's very, very personal, and it's very specific to, you know, you as an individual. But this person that left the comment, it was just like, it wasn't even, it was so mild as well, and I thought, you've clearly just got nothing better to do. But what made me laugh was, it was the video that they had left it on, and it was one of the scroller box unboxing videos, and for the past maybe 5 or 6 of those videos, about an hour after it goes up, which is ridiculously early UK time, it's 6 o'clock in the morning, I get a thumbs down on the video. And it has happened for every scroller box video for the last, I don't know, like maybe 4 or 5 of them, I think. And do you know, that way I thought to myself, I wonder if there's someone out there who's decided that they don't like my videos and they're just sort of, you know, wanting to like take it personally, and they're just putting a thumbs down just because they can. So it's kind of like made me think to myself, maybe that's the same person. I don't know why. And again, it's one of those things, like, you're not going to please everyone all of the time. I have no intentions of doing that. But when you have a lot of views in a video, and with the scroller box unboxings, I do get a lot of views, like far more than I do in any other of my videos. And you're always going to get a few dislikes, you know, you're always going to get a few thumbs down, because it's just like a numbers game. Statistically, that's going to happen. But I have so few of them. Oh God, I sound like I'm boasting now. Nobody gives me a thumbs down. I don't mean that. But you know, you always get one or two. But this, it's just the fact that this thumbs down seems to appear shortly after the video goes up, and it's every month. And sometimes it's the only thumbs down in the video. So yeah, I don't know what's with that. But it's just one of those ones where you've got to expect things like that. I mean, it is going to happen, and it is part of being a YouTuber and being on the internet. You can't please everybody all of the time, especially when you're just being yourself. It's different if you're being an asshole, then you know, okay, maybe you deserve it. But if you're just being yourself and you're not someone's cup of tea, that's okay. And that was a lesson that I learned when I was really, really young, and I spent a lot of time trying to please people, and it was at work. It was work related, because I didn't want to be seen as a failure. So I tried to like be everything to everyone, and that didn't end well for me. So, you know, I'm a lot more chilled out about it now and things like that. And I've not taken offence at all. The person clearly doesn't like the style in which I do my videos, which is absolutely fine. Why they felt the need to comment in the video and waste their energy and time in telling me that, I don't know, but yeah, it takes all sorts. So yeah, I find that kind of interesting. But if someone thinks my art's terrible, or they don't like something I draw, or they think there's a better way of doing something in a video, I am all for, you know, I'm all for people saying, hey, you know, Jem, you know, maybe you should try doing this. This didn't look so good, or this is really annoying. Can you stop doing that because X, Y, and Z? I would totally take that on board. Like, absolutely. I notice that in my videos I do say a lot, and I actually physically edit a lot of those out when I'm doing, you know, a proper video. Not that this isn't a proper video, but when it's not free-flowing chat like this and I'm actually talking about things, I sit and go through every second of my videos and edit out as many of my ums and ems as I can, because when it's repeated like that, it is really irritating. It irritates me. So I'm like, oh my God, how many other people does this irritate? And but also as well, there's turns of phrase that I use a lot as well, and everyone does it. Everyone has their own things that you know, little pet sayings and phrases that they want to use, but I am brutally aware of it, and I try not to. But with some things there's only so many ways you can say something, and again, it's finding that balance between being genuine and being who you are as a person, and not, you know, irritating the living daylights out of the people that are watching your videos. So it is quite a delicate balance, but as I say, there's just some things that like grind people's gears more than others. There is a YouTuber who she's an art YouTuber, and she has been on YouTube for a considerable length of time. She has like a gajillion Instagram followers. She's really talented at what she does. I absolutely love her artwork, but I cannot watch her videos. And one of the things that's made me get to that stage is because there is a word that she repeats all the time, and what's happened is I've fixated on it and I can't unhear it. Like when I'm watching her videos, I'm just listening for the next time that she says it. It's a bit like if anybody has a partner that snores and you wake up during the night and their snoring's keeping you awake, and you're waiting for that next snore, and it just makes you even angrier and like more frustrated that you can't sleep. It's the same thing, and it's a shame. So what I have started doing is I have started watching her videos. I'm still subscribed to her channel. I'm not like unsubscribed or anything, but I've started just muting it and just watching what she's doing, because as I say, she's so talented and she's a really nice person as well, from what I've gathered, and I just feel really bad that I can't listen to her. So, you know, it's just one of those things. We as humans are really strange, and it's weird that I feel bad about it, because she can't help it and I can't help it, but I still feel bad about it, and I would never want to name that person or even say to her, you know, like, can you stop doing this please, because it's just part of who she is. So it's a bit of a strange situation, but yeah, there are so many YouTubers that I just can't deal with. I have quite a low tolerance for people generally, and I attribute that purely to being a farmer and living where I live. I don't I was about to say I don't like people. That I'm not painting myself in a very good light here, am I? I am not, I don't even know how to explain this. I am an ambivert, and if you don't know what an ambivert is, then go and look it up on Google. I like my own company. I am perfectly happy in my own company, and I can be alone in my own company for long and weary and not feel lonely or feel the need for other human interaction. And part of that does come from living in a rural area, and I've lived in some pretty isolated spots, and you just get used to it. You do, you just, you know, sort of learn to deal with it. But being a person that is quite creative and has a lot of imagination, I think that definitely lends itself to that sort of lifestyle, because you have time to let your brain go and do all those little things that are, you know, sort of whimsical and fantastical, and, you know, you can really kind of go to town and nobody's going to bother you. So I think that's part of it. But also as well, and I've told the story before, I had a nervous breakdown at 23 years old, and the reason for that was work related, and I worked with a lot of people. So after that, I didn't do it on purpose, but I shied away from people, and I just find that life is a lot simpler not being this like massive social butterfly. People have said to me though that as you get older, you tend to keep a sort of smaller, closer group of friends, and that's obviously time, because you will have friends that you've known a long time and you will trust them more. But as you get older, your sort of social circle tightens up a bit. So I don't know, maybe it's that's happening as well, but I'm definitely a lot happier on my own. But when I do go out, I enjoy being sociable. I like to be, you know, included. I like to, you know, really sort of get involved and be part of things. So that's really basically an ambivert. It's like when you're good to go, you want to go for it, and you are a sociable person. But when you're not, you just want to be left alone, and that pretty much sums me up. I do find being in social situations quite tiring, but again, it's partly to do with my personality, because I am a person that never shuts up, and I'm always full of ideas, and I'm always quite passionate about things, and it basically just like saps all the energy out of me. So when I do spend time in other people's company, I'm knackered by the time I get home, and I'm like, okay, right, that's me done for like another sort of 3 months. So I've had people though sort of take it the wrong way, and I kind of like feel as if I have to explain myself. There's especially like people I go out running with. I don't like running with people. I hate it. I absolutely can't stand it. I was part of a running club at one point when I lived elsewhere, and after about 6 months I stopped going, because I just hated it that much, because it was just like a big social occasion, and you know, obviously they're all friends and stuff, and it was just like a big gossip session, and I was like, well, see, if you like stopped talking and ran a bit faster, you wouldn't be able to talk and your performance would increase. So, you know, if you want to have a chat and talk about people, go and get a coffee, don't join a running club. So I got really fed up with that, and I did keep in touch with a couple of the people that I ran in the club with, and I used to go out on an odd run with them, you know, maybe like once every 2 weeks or something, because it is good for you to run with other people. It's good for your fitness and your performance. But I didn't buy into the whole sort of social scene, and I found it an effort, like I really did, and I was like, I don't want to do this. I like running by myself because it's headspace, it's my time, there's nobody else there, nobody can interrupt me because they don't know where I am, you know, all that kind of thing, and that's really precious to me. And one of the this was ages ago, but I had a girl that I took out running, and she's lovely. I mean, and I'm still in touch with her. She's a really, really nice person, but she's just not the type of person that I would have as a close friend. And she basically just like latched on to me, and she wanted to be my friend, and she started like inviting me out for coffee and all this kind of stuff, and I said no politely a few times to her, but it got to the point where it was, you know, it was getting embarrassing, and I thought, I'm gonna have to say something to her and try not to, like, for her to take it the wrong way. And I had to have a sort of it's not you, it's me conversation, which was really awkward. Thankfully she was okay about it, and she kind of got it, And I just said to her, I was like, look, I'm not a particularly sociable person. I don't feel the need to have like loads of friends, blah, blah, blah. I'm happy to go out running with you once in a while, or, you know, maybe go on like an odd night out or an odd lunch or whatever, but I'm just not that type of person. So, you know, sorry, but. And she was quite surprised, but when I explained myself to her, I think she kind of got it. And then I moved away, so it didn't really matter anyway. But it's really difficult, and you don't, especially when they're really nice people, it's like you don't want to offend anyone by having them think that it's like, well, I don't want to be your friend. It's not the person, it's me, and I'm just happier that way. Even Mr. Jem will say to me sometimes, oh, do you want to go out and do this? And I'm like, no, I'm actually quite happy in my cave, drawing or reading a book or whatever, and he just looks at me. But I never stop him going and doing anything. If he's feeling sociable and he wants to go out, I will drive him, I will take him, and, you know, he can go and do what he wants to do. But most of the time I'm just happy in my own company, which that might be a bit weird, but hey. Okay, the top of our frog's looking pretty good so far. I'm reasonably happy with that. He looks like he's got great big tattoos, doesn't he? Is it just me? Yeah. Right, I'm going to do his toes down the bottom now. There's a weird line across it. I don't know how this has happened. I'm going to try and... The thing is, I've sprayed fixative over this, so I don't know how this has happened. But I don't think erasing it's going to do me any good because it's under the fixative. No. Okay, we're just going to have to colour over that. So let's do his toes down here. So anyway, yeah, that's the story of Jem the Hermit. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. I do know, like, I know that there's people that think I'm an absolute weirdo, and do you know what? I'm totally okay with that. It's kind of like back to the, you know, the doing the YouTube thing. People are not going to like me. There will be people out there that don't like me, and if they want to tell me that, that's absolutely fine. If it makes them feel better, get it off their chest, then cool. And I'm just at peace with myself. It's like, this is who I am, and if you don't like it for whatever reason, then that's okay. It's okay to not like it. And, you know, I'm not going to be offended by that. That's fine. And it's a peace that I have found only as I have gone into my 30s. And it's rather nice. I'm very much enjoying my 30s, way more than I enjoyed my 20s. And I had a friend tell me that at one point. They said, when I was very young, that in your 30s, I don't know if it's the same for guys. Guys, if it is the same and you're of that age, let me know in the comments. But in your 30s, you know yourself better. And you've probably been through some stuff by the time you get into your 30s. So you're much more aware of yourself, and you're much more aware of your own needs and what you like and what you don't like. Whereas in your 20s, you're still kind of like trying to figure things out, I think, a little bit. And I kind of laughed when she said that, and she said, honestly, she says, when you get into your 30s, you'll understand. And she was absolutely right. I'm thoroughly enjoying my 30s. I just feel a lot more settled and a lot more comfortable with who I am as well. I am a lot of things, and I'm okay with all of it. I really am. So it's nice to have this sort of sense of peace that I never had in my 20s. So if anybody's in their 20s and they're coming up to their 30s, don't be frightened of 30. 30 is awesome. It really is. Anybody older than that, does anybody agree with me? Also let me know in the comments. I'd be interested to hear. Although my mum has said, though, my mum's in her 60s, and she said that her 60s are an absolute blast. She's having a great time. And she said it's just because, obviously, the kids are all grown up. And, you know, like, my mum's my best friend, or one of my best friends now. More that, you know, we have much more of a friendship now, rather than a mother-daughter relationship. Although we still have a mother-daughter relationship. But, you know, I speak to her on the phone, I tell her about my problems, or ask for her advice, and I know she's always there. And she makes me laugh, and she makes me cry, and we always cheer each other up. And that's kind of nice as well, because as a teenager and in my early 20s, I really didn't bond well with my mum for some reason. And it's not that I hated her, or, you know, we had any sort of like ill feeling towards each other, but we were very, very different people, and we still are. I mean, I'm much more like my father than I am my mother. But we just seem to get on a lot better now that I'm older, and it's actually really nice. And it's kind of cool as well, because my mum's got that relationship with her mum, my gran, who is 95, nearly 96. and they are really, really close. And again, they're totally different people. Like, you would never put them together as friends, yet they have this bond that is more than just a mother-daughter thing. And I think that's awesome, especially, like, my mum's still got her mum. My mum's a pensioner, and she's still got her mum. I just think that's awesome. So they're really savouring, because my gran knows, she's like, I'm not going to be here forever, I might drop dead tomorrow kind of thing. You know, she's quite sort of matter of fact about it. So they're just enjoying the time that they've got left together and really savouring it and making the most of it, which I just think is amazing as well. And it's nice because my mum's close to her mum, I'm close to my gran as well. So the three of us are really, you know, it's just really nice. I like it. Okay, last set of tools. I don't know if I've told the story about my gran before, and if I have, well, you can just turn the sound off and just watch me colour. But my gran was 89 years old, and my grandfather died about 15 years ago, so you know, a long time before this happened. And my gran said to me one day, she said, see that iPad that your mum's got? And I said, uh-huh. I said, what about it, Gran? Do you think I could work one of those iPads? And I just looked at her and I said, yeah, why? Do you not think I'm being a silly old fool? I said, no. I said, why do you want an iPad, Gran? And she said, well, I really think that, I couldn't use a computer. That's far too complicated for me. And by a computer, she means like a desktop or a laptop. She says, that's far too complicated for me, but I think I might be able to manage one of those iPads. And I said, right. I says, what would you use it for, Gran? Well, I've seen your mum doing that FaceTime thing, and that would be really good because I could see you instead of just phoning you. I could see you, and you could show me around the farm, and that would be really, really good because I stay quite far away from her now. And I was like, that's a great idea, Gran. I said, well, I think you'd be okay. I think you'd manage. You'd have to like have a bit of practice, but you'd be able to do it, no problem. And she went, all right, okay. And then her face fell. And I said, what's wrong? And she said, if I get one of those iPad things, that means I need to get internet, don't I? And I said, yes, Gran, you do. And she said, I don't think I would manage that. And I said, they come and set it up for you. So I explained it all to her, and obviously that mum would help her, and my uncles, you know, would help her out with it too. And that sort of like perked her back up again. So nothing would do, but she phoned BT and they sent a nice man out to talk to her and explain it to her like in language that she would understand. And like he helped her out and she made him a cup of tea and all that kind of stuff. And she got her internet put in, so we bought her an iPad. And it is absolutely phenomenal that somebody, bearing in mind my gran was born in 1923, you know, she has seen so many changes in the world, like she really, really has. And she has embraced technology at nearly 90 years old. And I was just like, I sat and watched her that first day and I just thought, you are absolutely amazing. And she's saying to me, right, and how do I do this? And you know, she was not frightened to ask or to try things. And then she'd say, oh, I've messed it up. Oh, what have I done? What have I done? And I said, Gran, you can't break anything. I said, it's fine. You've just pressed the wrong thing. And we talk about the home button on an iPad being the belly button. And I say to her, if you ever get stuck, you just press the belly button and that will take you back to the beginning. So now, obviously, she's quite well versed because she's, as I say, she's nearly 96 now. And she can Google things. She can FaceTime. She uses Facebook. She plays games, you know, on her iPad. She's got apps that she uses. And she does jigsaws. I mean, she does everything. And she has basically, like, she's just amazing. Like, she's even figured, like, she knows the difference between emails and private messages and direct messages. And it's just, I just think it's amazing that somebody of her age has, like, absorbed all that. And, you know, when she was small, hardly anybody had a phone, you know, in their house. So I'm totally impressed with my gran. I think she's amazing. I'm just going to have a wee zoom out here. Right, what I think I want to do now is I want to figure out where the rest of his actual skin colour, like his green skin colour, is going to go. Because I don't think all this is going to be like different patterns. So I suppose I'm kind of looking for the negative space. I don't know if that makes any sense. Here is going to be green. So we'll try that. I think I'm just going to work from the top down and see how that goes. Yeah, so my gran is in every sense an absolutely outstanding human being. There was times as well, as I said, there was, you know, when I wasn't very close to my mum when I was a bit younger, and I could go to my gran with problems and she would help me out, and she has helped me out with a lot of stuff over the years. She really has. She's just an amazing lady. And to have all her faculties at nearly 96. So she did say herself she's getting to the stage now where her body's kind of starting to wear out. She gets tired quite easily. And when she's tired, she's a little bit unsteady on her feet now. But she still stays herself, and she stays in an upstairs flat. So she has to walk up and down stairs to get out her flat, which she does quite happily. And, you know, she's retained so much of her independence, but I get she's one of these people that always says if you don't use it, you lose it. Because at one stage we'd suggested to her about getting a stair lift put in, and she absolutely hit the roof, and she just said absolutely not, because if I stop walking up and down those stairs, it won't be long before I'm not walking at all. And we were kind of like, oh, okay, if that's how you feel about it. So the downside to that, though, is that she finds it difficult to accept that she is old and that her body is sort of wearing out. I think she gets quite frustrated sometimes because she wants to do things, or sometimes she does do things, but it's to her detriment and she ends up really tired and slightly unwell because she's done too much. And we have to keep reminding her that, you know, like everything that is attached to her being is nearly a century old. So yeah, you know, it's going to get tired. So that's the kind of difficult side of it. But generally speaking, I mean, she's just an awesome human being. I love hearing her stories as well about when my mum was small and when she was small, because she always laughs when we go and visit her. The last thing she says to us before we go out the door is watch the motors. And that's a sort of, it's an in joke, because when my gran was young, there weren't a lot of cars on the roads, you know, and the roads weren't busy. So when she used to leave the house, her mother used to say to her, watch the motors, you know, just in case you get run over, because it was, you know, a much more of a novelty. So it's kind of like a standing joke now. She always says that to us. And it's just when she says things like that, I'm like, you actually grew up in like a completely different world. Like, she really, really did. Which, that's what makes her even more awesome, I think, is the fact that she's just embraced everything as it's come along, and, you know, she's just gone with the flow. And she's had a truly excellent, especially in the later stages of life, once my grandfather died, because he was quite sort of domineering over her, and there was a lot of things that she wasn't allowed to do because he said she wasn't allowed to do it, and one thing and another. So actually when my grandfather died, she got a bit more freedom, and she didn't, because I mean, she looked after him as well. She, you know, she kept the house and all that kind of stuff. So when he wasn't there anymore, she kind of got like a second wind, and she went and did a lot of stuff. I always thought my gran was quite a sort of quiet person, and she's actually not. She's just like me and my mum, which, it's kind of sad in a way that she had to wait that long to be the person that she actually is. I find that quite tragic, but she's bloody well made up for it in the meantime. I didn't know my gran drank either, and I only ever saw her with like maybe a sherry or a glass of wine at Christmas. Oh no. My gran likes everything. She is quite partial to she calls it a wee wine on a Friday night. So, you know, that's really nice as well. It's kind of cool. So I count myself very lucky to be in my 30s and still have my grandmother who has all her faculties. And, well, I mean, she's daft, but we're all daft, so... But just to be in as good fettle as she is for her age as well, I think it's amazing. And I really, truly hope that when her time comes, she just goes to bed and falls asleep. And that's her. My other grandmother died at the start of this year. Again, some of you already know that. And she was just a poor little soul towards the end. And watching her go through that sort of degeneration and deterioration was... It was difficult for her, obviously, and it was frustrating for her, but it's very difficult for family to watch as well. So I'm kind of hoping my gran just goes out with a bang. But it's one of those things that's just, nature will take its course, and what will happen will happen. God, it's such a cheery subject, isn't it? Anyway, the point of the story is my grand's awesome. So yeah. Okay, I'm quite happy with the way things are going with Mr. Frog here. Yeah, so I don't know if I've said it already, maybe I have. I think I will do another colour in chat. Might even finish this guy off, or I might do something completely different just to annoy you all. Yeah, I might do something different just to get my colouring mojo back. I say this is so nice because I haven't coloured in so long. I have started back in Enchanted Forest, which is my front to back project, which has been on the go since I started colouring. I am colouring less now. It is something that I use in times of high stress, and I kind of use it as a coping mechanism. So when I'm not in a bad place, I don't colour as much. I still like to colour, but I tend to split my time up more between drawing and colouring, generally speaking. So it's just nice to get back into the swing of it though. It really is. But yeah, I'd like to do a bit more work in Enchanted Forest because I am determined, even if I never finish another colouring book in my entire life, I am finishing Enchanted Forest. I'm about 2/3 of the way through. And yeah, that is happening because it was the first adult colouring book I ever had, which incidentally came from my grandmother. It's a really good sort of catalogue of my experience and skill level. You know, you can see the improvements that I've made since the front cover, which is, it's actually quite cool, and I quite like it for that. So that's kind of one of the reasons that I really want to finish it, because I'll have this catalogue of my colouring skills through the years. So I'm going to keep chipping away at that. I don't want to put any pressure on myself, but I was, before I decided we were getting married, I was going to have it finished for this summer, and then the wedding, well, between the things that happened at the start of the year and the wedding, it kind of got shoved to the side. So I'll just pick it up again and I'll finish it one day. I will finish it one day. I'm going to make sure of it. These look like little bird faces, look at a big long beak in the eyes. I'm getting into quite kind of fiddly spaces here. The other thing that I'd really like to do with this picture, and I haven't decided where I'm going to do it yet, is I'm either going to use some metallic gel pen on the stones or maybe on his scales. I would like to have some metallic gel pen somewhere. I don't know where, but yeah, I'd like to kind of put that into. I just realised I've missed a whole lot of bits there. Shoddy. Right, what am I going to do with this? I'm just going to use my mid-tone, I think. Try and get some of that in there. Oh, yeah, that'll be alright. I think we'll just blend that in. Be all good. Yeah, that looks good. On Monday night, this coming Monday, it is a Guy Fawkes night, or bonfire night for us here in Blighty. And we always have fireworks displays, big bonfires, some hot dogs, that kind of thing. So we are going through to one of the towns that's quite near us, and it's also where my best friend lives. And we're going to go and see a professional fireworks display. It's done to music, and it's usually really, really cool. So that's going to be fun on Monday night. I don't really agree with the sale of fireworks to the general public. The amount of problems that they cause, especially as someone who has livestock and pets, I don't think they should be allowed for general sale. And there's quite a lot of petitions that float about at this time of year that are calling for a ban of the sale of fireworks to Joe public, and that only organised fireworks displays should be allowed. And it's something that I strongly agree with. And I mean, I love fireworks. I really enjoy going to a fireworks display, but I just think fireworks are so dangerous. At the end of the day, they're explosives. Let's be realistic. They're very pretty explosives, but they're explosives. Nobody that isn't trained should be allowed to have them. I really, you know, I feel quite strongly about that. Was my hair in the picture there? Oh, look. Oh. Sorry. Yeah, so we always go to an arranged fireworks display. That's just something that we do. But the one we're going to is pretty good. Unfortunately though, when we go, the fire brigade pass by us a lot of the time. And obviously it's a really busy night for them. And they still take the time to flash their sirens and wave at the kids and everything, which is kind of tragic but cool at the same time. You just think, oh wow. There was something in the news last year and there was people throwing bottles at the fire brigade when they were going out to, you know, a fire that had got out of hand. I'm like, what is wrong with you people? There's something very, very wrong with the world, I think. Definitely. Right, I'm just going to... See these tight spaces here? I'm just really tempted just to block colour them. That doesn't even match that side. Oh no, wait a minute, it does. It's just in a smaller space. Okay. We'll just fill it in. That'll be fine. Here we go. Dun dun dun. I'm not going to worry too much about shading and blending in that little space. I'm not going to be precious about it. In other exciting news in terms of the colour cave, I have something very special planned for the month of December. And I am not going to tell you anything about it just now. So cruel. I will give you all details a bit nearer the time. But I just want you to know that I am planning something fun for December, so that will give you something to look forward to on the channel, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it will be a success and everyone will enjoy it, including me. I do see a lot of the Scrooges are starting to complain already about Christmas stuff because it's only November and there's a lot of Christmas things coming into the shops now because Halloween is over. And I absolutely love Christmas, but I do feel that Christmas should be confined to December. I'm not one of these crazy people that puts a Christmas tree up, you know, like the middle of November or anything like that, but I do like Christmas. Christmas is fun. But yes, it should be confined to December. I think there should be a law that you can only do Christmas stuff in December. I think it's only right. Okay, just trying to make sure that I do the same thing on both sides. See, his pattern seems to like go around his belly on this side because here's the beads and that's them there. So there's not really much that's going to be, like this tiny little bit in there, that's going to be green. And that's going to be green. Man, this was a bad idea. Whose idea was it to do this? And then we've got these bits here, that, yeah, they're going to be green as well, aren't they? Yeah, I'm going to make them green. I don't know why I'm asking you guys like you're going to be able to give me a response right now. Oh my. I'll just keep going. Something else that made me laugh as well in the comments section. The video that I did, again, I think it was the Scrawler box unboxing. I had an alcoholic beverage and someone actually left a comment and said, can you do that again because that was fun. Like, I don't know why it was fun for you. It was fun for me. Am I more fun when I'm drunk? I wasn't drunk, by the way. I was happy. I just thought that was a really funny comment though. That made me laugh. It's like, yeah, I can do that. I can drink Jack Daniels and do YouTube videos all day long. That is not a problem. That could definitely be arranged. But do you know that way I thought, am I that different when I've had a drink? Oh dear. Again, I don't, I'm not I like a drink, but it's usually, especially at home, it's usually only like maybe 1 or 2, 3 at a push. I very rarely drink more than that. So I like to be at that sort of nice relaxed, I can't even speak now. And I like to be at that nice relaxed stage. I don't actually like being drunk because I don't feel as if I've got any control. And that's a really horrible feeling for me. I just like to be loose, hanging loose, and that's usually the aim of the game. So But yeah, if you like that kind of thing, I'm sure we could arrange some more Jack Daniels field videos. I remember Draw with Jazza, who's one of like well, I think he is the biggest art YouTuber out there. He actually gets drunk for charity on his channel. You know, he'll do a video. I think he usually does a live stream, or maybe he does it on Twitch. But he basically, if people donate, he has to drink. It's like a really bad drinking game. And they make him draw pictures of certain things, you know. So he'll say, "Oh, if we get to like $5,000, I'll draw this," and they get more and more ridiculous as you know as the donation amount goes up, and it's incredibly good fun to watch. I'm like, getting drunk for charity sounds like a great idea. I'm totally up for that. Okie dokie. Let's have a little zoom out again and have a look at our frog. Oh, he looks pretty. I think I'm going to have to continue on down with the, you know, the green skin, like the base colour of skin down here, because if I don't, I think it's going to look quite weird. So I'm just going to try and pick out, the same way as I did round here, the bits that are going to be, that I want to be green. I mean, there's no rules to this. This is the great thing about colouring, but I'm just... One of the things about a colouring chat that I feel is quite important is that you don't plan things out, because it's supposed to be relaxed and quite, you know, sort of casual. But it does result in a lot of sort of umming and ahhing and deliberation over what's going to be what colour. But that's half the fun. Sometimes you've got to fly by the seat of your pants. If I'm doing a video that's planned, then obviously I will plan out my colours, and sometimes I'll even, you know, share with you guys how I got to that conclusion. But with stuff like this, it's not quite as imperative, I don't think. Imperative, that's a good word for a Saturday night, isn't it? Is it night time? Or is it night time yet? Oh no, it's only... I keep thinking it's a lot later than it is because it's really, really dark here. Now that the clocks have changed. It gets dark at like 4 o'clock. So I'm thinking it's like 6:30 or something. And it's only 4:20. That's depressing. Although weirdly, I am a person that likes the dark. And especially where we live, there are no streetlights. So when it's dark, it's proper dark. You can't see, you know, in front of your face. When you go out with the porch light and our security light that's out the front of the sheds, the farm sheds, you actually cannot see anything. And it's something that I really struggle with when I go and stay with family that stay in, you know, a more populated area. When I go to bed, I struggle with streetlights because the room isn't absolutely pitch black. It feels like the middle of the day to me. So I find it kind of difficult to get to sleep when I'm staying with people. It's amazing how you get used to things. Noises as well, that's their noises, like cars and people. I'm like, how dare you be talking outside at 11 o'clock at night? I'm trying to sleep. But yeah, can't really do much about that either. Like, free country. Right, let's go for this. Just gonna go for it. Okay, so if we make that part green, that's really like the last part from... I'm definitely going to have to do something funky with his scales because there's loads of scales on his legs and he's got bits on his arms like kind of gauntlet things as well. So yeah, I'm definitely going to have to do something with that. I think I'm going to colour these parts in green just to kind of break it up a bit and remind everyone that his actual skin's still under there, underneath all this spangly fancy armour or whatever it is. But if I do those ones, does that mean I've got to do those ones? Yeah, let's go for it. Let's do it. Getting all giddy with myself here. Ooh. Right, let's try that. I am up for that. Get in here with my pencils. I find it quite funny that in doing these, you know, these kinds of videos, these kind of unstructured videos, I still find myself calling out and explaining what I'm doing even though it's not meant to be an instructional video. I think it's just a habit that I'm in and I kind of can't help it. So that's just, I think because I've done so many, not so many colour alongs, but because I've done colour alongs with so many parts, I'm really used to, like, when I'm colouring in front of the camera, I'm, you know, very aware that I've got to remind everybody when we're changing colours and all that kind of stuff. So I think that's why I'm doing it. It's just like a running commentary. There we go. Does that look okay? I think I kind of want it darker in here. I don't think I can go much darker. Again, I might crack out the Payne's Grey at a later stage. I did leave a comment on one of the colouring groups today. There was a lady who was practising our shadow placement, and her picture was looking really good. She just started it, and I said to her about when you're putting in your shadows, you can be a bit braver, and that quite often I'll wait until I've coloured the whole picture and then go back and like darken in my shadows then, and it's something that I find really helpful, because what I find is when you do your shadows to begin with, you think that they're really obvious and you've maybe taken it too far, and it's only once you've coloured the rest of the picture that they kind of start to get lost and you realise that they're too subtle. And that's quite a handy tip for anybody that's practising with shadow placement or decides to put shadows in their picture. You can be braver than you think you need to be, but you're better to wait until the end and go back in and darken things down at the end. I'm quite happy with this so far. This is a nice little picture to be colouring. I think though, just because I've not coloured for so long, I'm just really appreciating it. I mean, you could have given me like a stick man inside a cardboard box to colour and I'd have been like, yeah, this is great. I have decided that I'm not buying any more colouring books though. I see that Clara Markova's new book has not been out too long, and also that Hanna Karlzon has another one coming out next year. She's a machine when it comes to colouring books, and I'm kind of at that point where I have quite a few colouring books now. I've never been a great hoarder of colouring books anyway, but I do have a number of them now, and I'm hardly colouring in any of them, and that to me indicates that I do not need to buy any more. So I've decided that I'm just going to spend some time colouring in the books that I've got, because I have loads of them, rather than just keep buying books and keep buying books. I mean, like Hanna Karlzon's books, I've got all of them, and there's one I haven't coloured in at all, which is the newest one, Jewellery Box. But in our other ones, you're lucky if I've coloured like 1 or 2 pages in each of her books. I really don't need to buy another one of her books. You know, and I know that's just a preference thing, but I find things like that very overwhelming, and the thought of having all those pages sitting there and they're never going to get coloured, I find horrifying. I suppose it's a bit like the art supplies thing. You know, we had the conversation about art supplies. You pay money for them, they're there to be used, let them fulfil their destiny. And I kind of feel the same way about colouring books. So yeah, I'm not gonna be buying any more colouring books for a while. Maybe if I finish Enchanted Forest, I'll let myself buy another one. That'll be about a decade from now. Maybe we'll be halfway there. Okay, I'm just going to do this other side the same, and then I'm going to call it quits at that, because I think we must be near an hour by now. Well, by the time I go and cut out the bits where I'm shouting at the dog and shouting at my husband. But that's good enough for me. It'll be interesting to see how many people actually watch this video as well. I seem to have quite a staunch following from the colour-alongs. Obviously there's a few of you that have had the books that I've been doing and decided that you're going to go for it. So it'll be interesting to see how this is as a standalone. I did this once before, and it was one of the very first videos I ever put out, and it was an Ivy and the Inky Butterfly, and everyone was outraged because I only coloured like a tiny section of a page, and there were people like saying, can you tell me what colours you used in the rest of the page, because I started this with you and I want to finish it. And when they found out that I'd finished it my own time, it was like, oh, you can't do that. So yeah, I hope that doesn't happen with this. I will make it very clear in the title and the description that this is just a colouring chat and it is not a tutorial or a colour along, because I might finish this in my own time. I might not come back to it on camera again. I might colour something else. I have got a real notion to colour in Karolina Kubikowska's books. I have Ticket to Dreams, which is the second... It's her first book, but it's the second one that I got, and I haven't coloured in that at all, and I fancy colouring in something quite dark and weird. So I think I might do that in my next video, because I really like her books. Okay, right, what have I still got to do? Oh, I've got these little semicircles to do, and that's it. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. I was kind of half tempted to use the Derwent light fast pencils that came in the scroller box, because I kind of want to have a really good go at them. I haven't done the scroller challenge yet, so I've not really used them other than just swatching them out and having a quick play about with them. But they're the wrong colour palette for this kind of thing, so I might have to find something where I can sneak them in and just give them a really good go. Derwent pencils are something that I use Derwent products all the time. I just don't use their normal coloured pencils, which I find really strange because I love their Graphy Tint pencils, and that's another video that I haven't filmed either. I love the Graphy Tint pencils, I love the Inktense pencils, and I love their Inktense blocks as well. Their paints, they're amazing, and yet I've never used like their traditional colour pencils, and I have no idea why. Now, bearing in mind they are an English company, they are produced on the same landmass that I live on, which automatically makes them cheaper for us than people that have them shipped abroad. Why would I not use those pencils? I have no idea. I've just never had a set. So that's kind of weird. But it's one of those things where I have oodles of pencils. I don't need any more pencils. But now that I've been sent the ones in the scroller box, we'll see. I'm not that bothered about light fast pencils, and they are really expensive. If I was a professional artist that was creating work, I think I said that, yeah, I did say this in the unboxing video as well. If you're doing commissions and people are paying you to make artwork that's going to hang on a wall, yes, they need to be light fast. But they are very, very expensive pencils. I mean, these pencils are nearly £3 each. So, you know, that's kind of a lot of cash if you're going to have the full set. And for something that's just a hobby, I don't think that's a justifiable price, to be perfectly honest. Unless you know, sometimes you just get an art supply and you're just absolutely in love with it and you can't live without it. That's different. But for the sake of having, you know, a set of Derwent pencils, it's probably not going to be the light fast ones, if I'm honest. I don't ever see myself being a full-time professional artist doing commissions either, so I don't think I'm in any danger of being bankrupt from pencils. Alrighty, let's have a wee look now. Okay, and there we have it. That's like a pretty good start, I think, for my little froggy friend here. And yeah, I may do another colouring chat in the not too distant future. If you want to see me do more of this, then let me know in the comments, because I would happily come back and do a little bit more here next time we do a colouring chat. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed my ramblings, everyone. Thank you for joining me, and we shall see you next time in the Colour Cave. Have a good day. Bye bye.